Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My governor, my brother Simba Arati, my brother Dr. Monda, the team of senior officials who are here, the senior teachers, Mwalimu Wamtere. It's a pleasure to see you, Mwalimu Yaboga. I'm really humbled. This is very emotional for me because I'm dealing with very many things at the same time. I want to welcome you to this home because this is Simba Arati's home, and he's our team leader and he's part of our team. When I heard that you were coming here, I didn't know what speech I would give. So I thought, because I am asking you to vote for me, and before I ask you to vote for Honorable Paul Simba Arati, maybe you should know who I am. I think some of you see me on TV, or dancing in my clips. Some are misinformed. I'm told some think I'm a drunkard. On that one, I am the chairman of all the drunkards in Kisii County. But we drink responsibly. You see, my Governor Simba and my leader, DG Monda, they are SDA church elders. So somehow, you know, God has to balance this. You know, my brother can hold meetings here from 6 in the morning until 6 the following day. Now me, I tell him, can you let me go and I touch my thing, then I come back. So our working relationship is wonderful. I have seen incredible friends of mine here, people I've known for many years. Matundra, I've seen you. I didn't think I would see you. A great man he saw me being born. He saw me. My father was a minister, yes, and he was very well educated. But I had a godfather, and he was called Mr. Onyonka. Mr. Onyonka was a primary school teacher. He's one of the finest people I've ever met. Because he literally, and you know, during the old days, he literally took a child who was born by another man and guided me and brought me up to reach where I am. This English you speak, most people think I speak like this because Dr. Onyonka taught me how to speak like this, including the Swahili. No. Mzee Onyonka taught me how to speak my Swahili. And he used to beat me up when I used to shout. Anasema aisee bwana, leo tutakosana na wewe. Then I say bwana, leo tunakosana na wewe, ananichapa. So I was very fortunate to go through a teacher's hands. Number two, I have been in politics for the last about 20 years. Many of you may not know, because I started running. I think Matundra would be the only one maybe to know. Ontere was there. My brother, Captain. When I started my politics, I was very young, actually about 29, I think, or 30. I lost elections twice. So 29 plus 10, that is 39. So I won on my third try when I was 40. And my experience then, when I started, I was not quite sure how to handle the teachers. I did not know the difference between KEPSA, NAT, all these groups you're mentioning here. It took me a while. Then when I got elected, one of my biggest challenges was to run the constituency. Because one, they said I was not educated. They said I dropped out of school when I was in Form 2. They said I was a child of privilege, and in fact, I wangled my ways around life and somehow managed. Absolutely not. I had very, very wonderful people who took care of me, particularly my education. And those teachers left an imprint in me until now, and I always respect them. I also have seen quite a number of people here. My schoolmate, St. Mary's Yala, this man here. I went to Yala with him, and I've seen a few, so I'm really humbled and very emotional, but be with me. I'm going to say what I wanted to say. Why are you here? Because I think you need to come and listen to us. And I know we've been getting information that we don't care about the teachers, that we are looking disorganized, and in fact, we don't even understand what we're doing. I will tell you this. This exercise is the most difficult and most emotionally and physically and financially engaging exercises that this young man has decided to carry himself through. I came on board with him, and I'm sure you've heard severally my explanation as to why I thought I needed to join him. First of all, I think we agree that after James Ongwae as governor had finished his 10 years, we need to let this thing go to somewhere else. I think, it was a very deliberate decision by me as a leader, because again, I remember things which our fathers talk about. Alright. Then the next thing which we had was I had to go around. Before I decided to join my young brother Simba, I actually talked with everybody who was trying to be governor. I also wanted to be governor. I believed I was qualified. I believed I'm able to articulate issues. I completely understand the issues that affect Kisii County, leave alone the national issues. So I felt I was qualified. But indeed, as I've said, sometimes you must make practical and deliberate decisions which are political to bring peace and fairness to people who are governed. So we made that decision and moved on. When I talked with everybody else, he was the last person I spoke to. You know, God is really funny. Do you all believe in God? Yes. God is really funny. When Simba was running for his election in 2013, and his ticket had been stolen, it is me that he found at Serena, standing waiting for me to be given my ticket, and he wanted to burn Serena Hotel with his voice. So I went and talked to him. I saw this slim, funny-looking boy, lanky, looks a bit hungry, red eyes. So I started asking myself, what is this guy talking about? He has won a seat in Nairobi. When I talked with him, then I met a friend who was with him. The friend told me, as I talked with them, I then took Simba into the hall where Raila was and all the teams from ODM. And actually I told Raila, the message I have for you from there, by that time I'd been elected. So me, I was just with my kid ticket. I said, the Kisii community has told me to tell you, you give this guy his ticket. Raila looked at me, he said, Richard, are you sure? I said, this is the winner. And we are trying to campaign for you in Kisii. You know, by that time, I had left PDP and crossed over to ODM on condition that they give me my ticket. Because you never get an ODM ticket anyway. So, Raila stood there and walked in. When I brought Franklin that walked out to where Simba was and said, Simba, I don't want your ticket. So that story ended. We came for elections. I did not even remember who Simba was until when we were in Parliament, and I began to see this young man. And the history is that this is a young man who is, one, the first Kisii person since the world was created to become elected in the city of Nairobi. For me, that was a very interesting fact. I then started watching Simba, how we carry ourselves in Parliament and how we do. The only thing I used to be very uncomfortable with, he loved Raila too much. So I used to feel Raila, when Raila disappoints him one day, he might have a heart attack. So the other day when we were being told Raila is not giving us our tickets, I was telling him, now what I do want to know. But that is not the case. Then you fast forward the story and Simba gets elected the second time. I'm now doing my third time. Then I'm in the budget committee with Simba in Parliament, and I'm in the implementation committee in Parliament. He's in the agriculture committee. And we are contributing, we are learning, we are doing everything. I was in the Defense and Foreign Relations committee also with him. In fact, I remember implementation committee otwa devetio soroma ya nchitoka ya ndatoka ba usivata to narito pasi ama chike ke usi. So Simba, me and Osoro actually in this committee, and we've been doing some things that we don't even mention. Now, I then meet this young man in Nairobi and I ask him, did I hear you want to be governor? He tells me, yeah. He calls me, I a senior. I was with two of my peers. I want to go governor. Oh, yo, I got a connecting Gambia. So we started the discussions, and I asked him two questions in that meeting. What is it that you think you can do for the community of Musi that is different from what you're doing? The second question I asked him, do you really understand what the expectations are of your people if you become governor? The only reason why I decided to join him is because he gave me one answer. He told me Kisii County is no longer going to be business as usual. We took a lot of time to interpret and analyze the issues in this county. And for me, and I believe Mwaka Monda, this journey is actually very personal. Why? We can have medicines in our hospitals. We can have running water. A teacher can afford to live a decent life, have running water, have the children go to school. Public schools should and must be good schools. We cannot have our ECD classrooms. Out of the 2,000 that are supposed to be built, you only have 120. An ECD teacher is paid 9,000 shillings a month, and yet we know that there are people who do nothing in the county government and they are paid 200,000, 400,000 shillings a month. For some of us, we believe in leadership where there's fairness, equity, and justice. If we don't have fairness and equity and justice, you cannot govern a people. If you are going to employ people, we must have data which picks all the 6 wives of Musi and make sure there is fairness and equity in giving resources, creating employment, and giving facilities that take care of our people. I don't understand why a health center, every single health facility in Kitutu Chache South and Kitutu Chache North, I built with CDF. Every, name them. You go to Masocho, you go to Nyakwai, Kyoge, you go to the Tembe, you go to Tiki Awarongi, you go to Nyabonge, you go to Marani, you go to Omogumo. I did 14 health centers in my first year as a member of parliament. But these health centers don't have medicines. So why was I building them? And this is not about indicting James Ogwai. Ogwai has done his thing. We're actually not worried about him now. He has done his 10 years. But then as a person who's been to school and as a person who's reached a stage where I believe that we must begin to interrogate and ask questions about our governance, whether it's from the grassroots level up to the national level. If you gave me 160 billion shillings in Kisii County for the last 10 years, I can swear this county would not be the same. That is the money we received. That is the money we have received. What is difficult in giving bursaries to poor children? You can eat 1 million, but must you eat 9 million? The total amount of money that the Kisii County government allocates for bursaries, which goes to children from poor homes, is supposed to be 9 million shillings per ward. In Kitutu Chache South, my money is 32 million. That is what I am allocated by the national government and the national CDF, and I'm able to give 3,000 kids 10,000 shillings flat for them to go to colleges and institutions of higher learning. If I was doing that with CDF, why is the county government not able to do that with secondary schools? So we must interrogate these issues. We can't be people who keep clapping and singing. And my job, in terms of oversight, I feel I'm so overqualified. And I've told my brother Simba and I've told my senior brother Monda, we are not going to be boardroom friends negotiating to give our people jobs and they give me contracts so that I can build things and become a multimillionaire. I'm already a millionaire. I've had my salary for the last 15 years. If I'm not a millionaire, then I'm an idiot. So what we want is for these two to be in charge of the county. Make sure that we minimize the amount of wastage and corruption that is going on. We cannot continue the way it is. And when we raise these issues, we are not attacking on why. We are saying his management capacity will solve those problems. So somebody else should do what? Number two, in political power, there are two things you do. You seek power to entrench yourself so that you become wealthy and an exclusive club, and you believe that you're the best thing that ever happened, or you open up the space and allow all your people to come up with you so that everybody feels good about the opportunities that you've created. That is what we want to do. It is not a story. You can't have a parent taking a child to school. This child finishes MTC. The jobs are advertised for people to be employed as nurses. And these people who are employed as nurses, you are then told your daughter or son, who is a first-class student, cannot be employed because you've not raised 500,000. Which then you must sell a piece of land to then go and bribe so that your daughter is employed. And if she's a daughter first, she slept with by 6, 7, 19 men, and for God's crying, she could be sick or pregnant. Those are the issues we must be honest and we must deal with them. School fees in University, so nobody scares me. We can't be a people who are so scared The reason why a country or a place can go down to the dogs is when good people sit around and watch bad people mismanaging this place that we are talking about. We can't stand around and pretend like everything is okay. We are not promising that we are going to do heavenly things, no. Just give people clean water. And Simba doesn't have to give you people clean water, all of you the first year. We have got Kirati water, 22 million liters a day. That water is at the highest point of Kisii. That water can be pumped. You don't need an engineer. Even me as a simple riffraff in town, you can pump the water to the next highest place where there is manga, and the whole of Kisii can receive that much. 22 million liters a day. So for the last 3 weeks, what has happened? The electricity was cut. Why? The money for the bill was eaten. So you are walking around town. I saw the other day somebody posting that Kisii is a regional hub that is going to look extremely wonderful. There are new buildings which are coming up. How can you become a regional hub when you don't have water? Who would invest? All these gorofas you see are your relatives who are sending money from abroad. Those who are in America and other places sending money, they're building properties, and of course there are other people coming in. But can't you give people just clean water? Remove the sewage from town, clean Kisii town, make sure that the county askaris, my governor, are well behaved. Let them not treat people as if everybody is a culprit. Should people be screaming at us? And governor, when you become governor, have only one vehicle. Don't have 7 vehicles. What for?